A trip to paradise with your best friends. Good vibes, fun and jokes. But on day 5 you start arguing over breakfast. Traveling with your best friends is great, but don't disregard the potential downsides of it. If you plan on traveling with your friends soon, here are a couple of problems that you could run into, how to best avoid them, and in the end, why a friends trip is still worth it. You think you know your friends because you hang out a lot, but have you spent 7 to 14 days with them all day every day? Because that's something many people underestimate. A hangout or even a one-nighter is quite different from basically living with a person for a week or more. In a foreign country, spending all your time together can become a bit annoying, even if the other person just has 1 or 2 small traits that you're not used to. Maybe they take ages to get ready, or maybe they like to sleep in while you're more of a morning person. Or do you know what they're like when they're hungry, tired and stressed? If you've traveled with your friends already, you might know what I'm talking about. Beginning of the trip, everybody's hyped. New place, new apartment, nice weather. But at day 5, the things your friends do just become 5% more annoying. If you've experienced this before, feel free to like the video. So what's the advice here? Well, quite simple. Before locking in a 2-week Thailand trip with a friend that you've never traveled with before, I'd recommend a shorter couple days stay where you try to find out whether you're even compatible for spending that much time together. Because realizing on day 4 of a 2-week trip that the other person is getting on your nerves can become quite problematic. Alternatively, if this is too expensive for you, you can also just spend a couple of days at the other person's home, which is free but still reveals to you whether you're okay spending that much time together. And no, this doesn't mean that you have the wrong friends, it's just that there's a difference between having a fun moment and being together 24/7. On the flip side, however, there's a saying that goes, if a friendship survives a longer trip together, it'll survive pretty much anything. I can also tell an example from my personal experience. Last year summer I've been on a 5-day trip with 2 of my best friends. And honestly, that was the best and most memorable trip that I've been on to this date. But even I felt that in the last 2 days everything just became a little more agitating. We started having slightly less patience for each other, and the sarcastic insults just became a little more serious. Now obviously we're still friends, but it just showed me that if you're not used to spending that much time with a person, starting off right away with a 2-week trip might cause some problems longer term. Additionally, you can also agree on some alone time for each person each day, and you can also just every now and then split up so that everyone gets some time to themselves. The next point is, every decision has to be made together. Now sure, you might have a system where you agree on a person who decides where to go, what to eat for the day to make it less complicated, but still, you don't have the freedom of always doing what you want. Everything you do, you have to take the interests of the other group members into account. Now, the gravity of this can be different for different personalities and different friend groups. For me and my friends, for example, this didn't really cause any big problems because we were quite uncomplicated, I guess. We didn't really care that much about where we wanted to go or what to eat, and neither one of us was gonna start an argument about something trivial like that. But some people just put more value to that, and if interests get conflicted, problems could arise. Whereas on a solo trip, for example, you're basically your own king. At any given point in time, you decide where you want to go, what you want to eat or what you want to see. And you don't have to think about what all other parties want. A couple potential fixes for this could be the following. For one, you can choose a group leader for the day who just decides what you do. You can also agree up front on, let's say, two places for each person that they want to see and have those as the non-negotiables, and the rest is just flexible. Or also, as mentioned before, you can just split up every now and then. But now to the benefits of traveling with your friends. First, the most obvious one, it's just fun. With the right people, a trip can become the most legendary experience memory in your life, and there's just something special about exploring new places with people you love. It never gets boring and you always have someone to do things with. Like I said, when things go right, this can absolutely tighten your friendship bond. Not only that, it's also a lot cheaper. I mean, you just split the cost for the rides, accommodation, and basically anything else that you use together. Let's face it, especially accommodation can become really expensive when you're alone. So taking someone with you to split the cost with might actually be a requirement to make the trip affordable enough. And lastly, you just feel more confident and safer when you're around your friends, rather than being completely alone in a foreign country, which might too be a very important factor for some people. So you see, I'm not telling you not to travel with your friends, I just wanted to warn you about a couple of potential issues that could arise and what to do about them. If you're interested in more travel tips and some actual travel vlogs throughout Europe starting soon, feel free to subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.